this morning, the base metal prices on the Shanghai Future Exchange have been weaker, while they actually tracked the movement of the 3-month prices on the London Metal Exchange of yesterday, where the market was, of course, weaker. But if we look at the LME prices this morning, we have definitely found a support, and that is definitely based on several good news. The one is, of course, the enthusiasm over the economy recovery in the United States, which is actually being shown in the 10-year yields, which are again higher this week. Then, of course, good news from China. The Manufacturing Purchasing Manager Index, the PMI, has climbed and has climbed more than expected, which is also a good sign of a good recovery on the Chinese economy. And the third good news, which is priced in the base metal market, is definitely the announcement of the US President Joe Biden about a massive 8-year infrastructure spending plan, which will be announced later on today. If we have a current look at the 3-month prices on the LME, we can see a pretty good recovery. Copper, the 3-month price at $8,818 a ton. That is a plus of 0.75%. Also, pretty good volume so far, more than 4,800 lots traded. So there is definitely a buying interest. If we look at aluminium, we are slightly up 0.3%. 3-month price at $2,235. Zinc is recovering 0.5%. We are at $2,804. The biggest gainer today is nickel, almost 1% plus. We are at $16,050 a ton. And lead is also going up 0.7%. We are at $1,975 a ton. The only loser this morning is tin. Tin is losing 0.6% and trading around $25,100 a ton. If we have a small look at the precious metal market, it's also a little bit mixed, like it was yesterday. Gold is losing 0.2%. The ounce is at $1,679. Silver is also losing 0.4%. We are at $23.88 a ton an ounce. Platinum is up by 0.5%, trading at $1,161. And palladium is up by more than 1%, trading at $2,613 per ounce. As I said, the yield on the US 10-year treasuries have really jumped to a high level. We are at 1.74 right now. That is unchanged actually from yesterday, where it was quite at a similar level at the same time. If we have a small look at the currency market, we can see a slight recovery on the euro against the dollar, but definitely the dollar remains quite bullish, which is seen on the US dollar index. It was quoted at 93.39, a little bit higher than yesterday, where we have been at 92.97. And this is definitely the highest level which we have seen since mid-November of last year. Small look at the economic calendar, quite busy today. As I said, we had pretty good news on the Chinese PMI index. We had some data from Japan on the housing starts. They fell slightly of 3.7%. And later on, we'll have today from the United Kingdom the final gross domestic product, the GDP. We will have from France the consumer spending and the consumer prices, CPIs. We will have from Germany the unemployment rates, and also from the European Union and from Italy some unemployment figures. The US data later on will include the ADP non-farm employment changes. We will have the Chicago PMI index coming out and the pending home sales and the crude oil inventories. But definitely all eyes will be on Joe Biden's announcement regarding the stimulus plan. So base metals are definitely recovering pretty good today. They are still stuck in a consolidation mode, but given the fact that Biden is announcing this massive stimulus, will definitely support the US infrastructure. We have the Chinese PMI, which is pointing a recovery, and also with the International Monetary Fund expected to raise its global growth forecast. The path actually of a least resistance for the metals should be the upside, unless of course this good news are already priced in. So definitely remaining bullish sentiment for the base metal prices, for the LME. There could be a potential downside risk, which would actually then coming from outside the metal markets, especially if the equities market would start to suffer. That could actually drag also the metals down.